Here at Second Wind, we sure do like talking.
The cringe is forcing my skeleton out of my body like toothpaste from a tube.
Her taking the suit off is part of the magic, but once she's done it, I don't know, like, you know.
There are accusations out there that I am obsessed with buckets in video games. And those accusations are true.
Boom charcuterie! He's got a point value!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Windbreakers podcast. I'm joined by Jay and Marty as always.
Hello.
Hello.
And we're talking about Mount Rushmores again, which we've done before.
Yeah.
What was the last one we did? Mario's?
I believe Mario, the different flavors of Mario in a Mount Rushmore format.
Yeah. And this time we're doing indie games. What heads would we put on the indie game Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, we each built our own personal ones. We could talk about our own personal methodologies, but we also want to hear from yours. Also, don't want to get any of those comments afterwards where it's like, I can't believe they didn't mention blank, because you gotta believe it. We're just individuals. And the game we forgot to mention, we didn't forget. It just fucking sucks, and we chose not to.
We didn't play it, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think would be an objective indie game Mount Rushmore? I think
Stardew
Minecraft
Valley.
for a start, definitely.
Minecraft, Stardew Valley.
Yeah, Minecraft, I mean, if you're doing based on sales, Minecraft, Stardew. If you also want to be an asshole, Baldur's Gate 3. Like, that kind of shit, so.
Well, I guess we should clarify what we mean by indie games then.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess we all have personal definitions of indie games probably too.
Oh.
Small teams, not publisher backed, not with AAA budgets. I mean, if there was a small team, not publisher backed, that had like $10 billion in their back pocket, I guess that would still count.
Well, yeah, Silk Song is that. They're indie, but they have all the money in the world.
Yeah, who knows how.
Yeah.
So, what approach did you guys take? Because what I did was, rather than individual games, my Mount Rushmore is developers.
Oh, I like that. That's fun.
And I thought that might differ from what you guys were doing.
It has, yeah. Mine is just games that it's a tough one to go for because there are so many wonderful indie games that I would love to put up here. So I kind of just went to my Steam library and in my Switch and stuff and went, what have I put the most time into? And does it make me feel anything when I see that key art? Do I go, oh yeah, I want to play some of that? Yeah. So that's my metric.
And as the only born American on the call, I went based on what actual Mount Rushmore is based on, which each of the four presidents kind of symbolizes something. Washington symbolizes the birth of the country, Jefferson, the growth of the country, Roosevelt, the development of the country, and Lincoln, the preservation of the country. So I tried to take those ideas, and then I slotted in indies that I played and enjoyed into those ideas.
I mean, growth and development arguably the same thing, but...
well, you would say that.
That's me being a big pedant. Well, I guess... we should get right into it. Who wants to start?
Yahtzee, you know what? Let's start with your first developer.
Okay. Well, my first developer was, to my mind, a staple of indie gaming, and that's Edmund Macmillan.
I dig that.
Who was there
Great picture.
right from the beginning and continues to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we consider indie games, we need to consider them in their capacity as the more auteur-focused sector of the industry, where games can still have an influence of a single creator present and tangible in its design. And Edmund Macmillan, you can always tell you're playing an Edmund Macmillan game. Let's put it like that.
Exudes him, yeah.
for better and sometimes worse, because you're like, I don't need this much scatological humor. But yeah, also someone who was there in the early days of indie gaming, Super Meat Boy being right there with the rise of Xbox Live Arcade and as a subject of Indie Game the Movie, and is still doing it. One of the big indie games of this year, Mugenics. So someone who's been doing it for the better part of 2 decades.
Arguably had a huge influence in the creation of a genre with the Binding of Isaac.
With Isaac. Yeah.
So
I mean, if anyone was
a very good pick.
If anyone was on the track for a Lifetime Achievement Award at some 100%. Future award ceremony, he'd probably be my hot pick.
Yeah,
agreed.
I like it. Edmund McMillan. Jay, what was your what's your first pick?
Oh, okay. So as I was going through my list, and I was going through my Steam library, and I was looking at hours played, and I was looking for my indies, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll pick this. I was like, And I looked at the very top, and my second most played game of all time is an indie game. And that's Terraria. I think Terraria deserves a space on my Mount Rushmore because, one, tiny team out of nowhere. Here it is. It's been continually updated. The amount of discovery, the ability to mod it, the freedom in builds. I think it is an absolutely incredible game. People who haven't played it and just think, oh, it's 2D. It's 2D Minecraft. It's like, eat shit, play the game, and then see what it's about. It's more about exploration, this kind of meta progression, more of an RPG than it is like a building game. And I think it's absolutely incredible.
Also, one of the literal best-selling games of all time. 70 million copies, more than The Witcher 3, more than Stardew Valley, more than...
Well, that's just because it's been out so long. When did it first come out?
2011? 2011.
I vividly remember a LAN party I had where we all played Terraria when it first came out.
Oh, Christ, the LAN. Were you all playing it on CRT monitors?
No, but it was a LAN party we had, so it was a long time ago.
And so you can poo-poo it by saying, well, it's been out long enough, but it's been out for the same amount of time as Binding of Isaac, it hasn't been out for as long as Super Meat Boy, and yet maintained those sales. So
all right, I can see it is one of the greats. I've just never been that into it myself.
Neither have I. To be fair, it is not a Marty game.
I'm enough into it for all three of us. So
perfect. These are our Mount Rushmores.
Yeah,
exactly. My first pick, if I'm starting with the Washington, the birth pick, in my head it was going to be Cave Story. But I've never really finished Cave Story, and I've always appreciated Cave Story more than I've liked Cave Story. So I went to Dear Esther, which isn't birth of the indie genre, but is arguably birth of the walking sim genre, which is a genre I genuinely love, and one that I feel like helps kind of push the confines of the box of a definition of a video game a little bit further out. It gives us stuff like everything from Gone Home to Amnesia Machine for Pigs to Firewatch to even modern examples like Mixtape. I do think to me it's a very important game that birthed a genre that I love.
And it is also representative of the modding to standalone track that indie games have always walked. And I don't want to say it was the very first example of that, but it was famously at first a Half-Life 2 mod.
Yeah.
And then became its own thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's which is cool. There's a handful of indies that have started as mods of things. Forgotten City, a Skyrim mod, ended up becoming its own thing and whatnot. So yeah. My pick for
I like that pick.
Right. Well, it's funny you should mention Cave Story, because my next developer on my Mount Rushmore is, of course, Pixel, who maybe it's not so fair to put them with the others, because the rest of them are all like career developers who've made a whole bunch of games.
Sure.
But this is the one that I had to pick because I have to acknowledge Cave Story as basically being the codifier of indie games as we understand them in a modern age. And just speaking for myself, I have finished Cave Story, both the good and the golden ending, and I think it's really good.
That's impressive. And
it's amazing that it was made by just one guy, including the music. I mean, I make games with one person makes them, but I don't know how to make fucking music. I get someone else to do that. That's a different set of skills.
Far and away, the most popular and influential game. Like I guess Kiro Blaster would probably be a number 2 a couple of years. I guess 10 years later they made that.
That was Pixel's second game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but released the game for free, and it was just took the world by storm just from being good.
Do you think that Cave Story, or I guess more so maybe Cave Story Plus, do you think that would like hold up well for folks? Because I imagine there's a lot of folks who haven't played Cave Story. Do you think it would hold up well as a thing to revisit and enjoy, or do you think it kind of is more of like a museum piece?
I think it would. It does hold up pretty well. Because, we all like our Metroidvanias and our retro-style platformers. And this still has a couple of ideas that makes it fairly unique, like the weapon upgrade system. And people like their hard games, so they can complain that nobody's getting good all over the place. And you'll find Cave Story fits in very comfortably among the hardest of the hard, especially if you go for the golden ending, which is frankly taking the piss.
Piss. I like it. Jay, what's your number 2?
Oh, okay. So to segue off of Cave Story, my number 2 is Animal Well.
Ooh.
That's a recent one.
Yeah.
Yes. This might be speaking... No, okay, this is 100% speaking from a place of privilege. But we, along with many other game journo freaks, got Animal Well early to play before it released. And just like we did with like Elden Ring and stuff, the journey of playing this game, which is all about secrets and uncovering secrets, doing that before the game is out, so there are no guides where we like have to discuss it between ourselves and stuff like that, was such a unique experience that is very hard to replicate because of the advent of the internet. So because of the specific time I got to play it and the forced restrictions of not being able to look things up was so special to me. And as it was coming out and as I'd nearly finished it, just getting the last 3 secrets, I was going to an event in Poland, and all of the other game journos there were also playing it. So we got to discuss everything, and it really brought me back to like the playground discussions. But instead of kids, it's like sweaty bearded men. So that was really special to me. So it has such a special place in my heart because of that. So for me, it's on. And I also just think it's a fucking fantastic game. So that's why it's on my Mount Rushmore.
I fucking love Animal Well. And honestly, it's like only grown in my esteem over the, I guess, 2 years or however long it's been since it came out. Yeah. And also really cool, a solo dev taking the better part of a decade to make something. Really cool. Yeah.
Well worth it.
Yep.
All right then.
Lovely. For my second one, this one representing expansion, which is very different from development, as we all know. Incredibly different. They could not even be similar. For expansion, I chose Braid. And because of that, I chose it because Braid to me symbolizes, along with something like Super Meat Boy, the Xbox Live arcade boom and indies not only coming to console, and so coming to a brand new base of players, but also being championed and being propped up at the front of storefronts, being propped up on stages at showcases and everything. And I think Braid, it's not a solo dev game. Jonathan Blow had Dave Hellman, he did all the art in the game, but an incredibly small team and a game that I think mechanically holds up very well in the last 15 years or so. And also, I'll just toss in there, Jonathan Blow's next game, Order of the Sinking Star, is one of the Steam Next Fest demos. Steam Next Fest just began right now. I've been playing a bunch of that over the weekend. Highly recommended for big old puzzle heads who also like kind of Sokoban puzzles, but big old brain teasers. Fun game.
Remind me what Sokoban puzzles are.
That's a little block pushing, like overhead block pushing puzzles. Yeah.
So he's graduated from cereal box maze puzzles in The Witness to overhead block puzzles.
He's also, this new game, he built his own engine.
Oh, crazy. Probably why it took so long.
It must be. Yeah. Why it took pretty much 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Jonathan Blow would have been a candidate for a developer Mount Rushmore if he hadn't sort of blotted his copybook a little bit in my eyes.
I agree. Don't agree with the man on a lot of things, but I do like both of his games he's released, and I'm looking forward to this third game. And he was,
The author and all that.
him, it was Braid, Fez, and Super Meat Boy that were the things in Indie Game the movie.
Yeah. So of those, 1 out of 3 didn't block their copybook. But,
Good job, Edmund.
good job. Well, my next one shouldn't come as any surprise for anyone who knows my tastes, but the third developer I'm shouting out of my Mount Rushmore is... Fill it in for me.
Lucas Pope.
Lucas
Pope.
LucasArts. Star Wars.
I mean, LucasArts was technically independent, I suppose.
Sure.
At some point.
Yeah.
But yes, Lucas Pope, the developer of 2 of my favorite indie games of all time, Papers, Please and Return of the Obra Dinn. In the first case, almost sort of part of the spearhead of the post-dad game genre with the work simulator that sort of filtered through an intriguing storyline going on in the background. And in the second case, Return of the Obra Dinn, really exploring the concept of a detective game.
Yeah.
And again, a wonderful example of background storytelling against the background of fulfilling a relatively bureaucratic task. In my mind, he sort of reinvented the concept of, video games altogether, really. The concept of interactive narrative in both of those games.
Mm-hmm. Obra Dinn, like Animal Well, 2 games that were on my very short list that I was very close to including. And if he never makes another big game again, if he just makes experimental crankers for the rest of his life, then he did 2 for 2 in big releases, and that's more than enough for me.
Fair play to him. He'll be like the Bill Watterson of indie games.
There
if
you
that's
go.
The case.
No, never sold out. Great, Jay. What's your third pick?
Okay, so I need to pick which one I'm going to do third. I'm going to say my third one is Vampire Survivors, which might be a little bit of a shock to peeps.
Okay, it is a little bit of a shock.
Adore Vampire Survivors.
Like a lot of yours have been leaning pretty recent in terms of gaming history.
These are the things that I like and have played,
all right. I mean, you are a tiny twink. We've established that.
You're our tiny twink, though. No one can take you from us.
I don't think people here know the definitions of twink, but that's okay.
I certainly don't.
So with Vampire Survivors, I really, really enjoyed this game, mainly because when I first played it, I kind of thought it was a little bit shallow and there wasn't really a lot to it. But I enjoyed it. But then I decided I potentially wanted to make a video, so I started playing more to the point where I was actively trying to 100% the game. And the way that game unravels the further you get into it, and the amount of extra depth you get the further you get is really, really incredible. Even though mechanically it's very simple on the surface, I think it's I've had an immense time just trying to get as far as I could, to the point where you can just completely break the game and have the screen be an absolute mess of just pixels and stuff. But it feels completely player driven rather than you've just clicked a button and broken the game. It's all about knowledge, and I think it then spawned the kind of, I'm not sure what the kids are calling it, survivor slop genre, where people are trying to Bullet Heaven. People are trying to capitalize on that because I believe Vampire Survivors did it so well, and for me, no other game has really come that close to that.
You know, the funny thing is, I've been enjoying Vampire Crawlers more than Vampire Survivors.
I was going to say, Vampire, it became its own kind of cottage industry, right? With a ton of updates and sort of glomming onto different properties, whether that's Castlevania, they announced a Jujutsu Kaisen one at Summer Game Fest, or spinning it off into kind of games that keep the similar aesthetic / flow, but in different genres, like Vampire Crawlers.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I agree. Good on them. My third one for development, which is very different than expansion, as we all know. I chose Outer Wilds. And I chose that because I feel like development along with modernization, Outer Wilds is one of those indie games, a small team, but they did something that feels so big and so kind of monumental compared to what AAA teams are doing. Like it took a time loop, which is something that we see a lot in the games, going back to Majora's Mask, which we'll be covering on the channel soon with Jay's video. But it took the time loop and it centered it in an entire universe that is manageable. It is a universe you can experience within 20 minutes, but it feels so goddamn big. It feels bigger and it feels like more like an actual galaxy universe than anything in Starfield does to me. And it's a game that I dearly love, and I'm very curious to see what they have working on next. Yeah, so I'm a big Outer Wilds guy. I know that was something you never quite clicked with, right, Yats?
I like Outer Wilds. I've played it. I've tried to play it like a couple of times, but for some reason I never follow through and finish it.
Yeah,
there's something about it's something like feeling. What is it? Like you're exploring like a part of the game. You finally feel like you're getting somewhere, and then the universe ends. You restart the loop, but then you can't remember how to get back to where you were.
Yeah. It's one of those games. I when I played through it the first time, it was in a weekend. Like it is one of those games that like it's a Metroidvania. Like it is, you don't unlock abilities, you unlock knowledge that allows you to get to things quicker and put things together. But if you take any time between those runs, those things tend to kind of melt away. Yeah. So it is a game you kind of need to like play in not a single session, but a single contained amount of time.
Yeah,
I was working on my semi-autobiographical history of video games book that I've been messing around with, and I hit upon like the subject of the difference between a game that is big and a game that feels big.
Yeah, those are two very different things.
I think Outer Wilds is a great example of a game that feels big while not technically being as big as something like Starfield or Minecraft or anything like that.
Yeah, even at the time, like something like Ocarina of Time, like when you first go into Hyrule Field, it felt so goddamn big in 1998. And when you go back, it's kind of silly because you run across it in a couple minutes. But at the time, compared to, especially in the early stages of 3D gaming, it felt huge. It felt like a real world. It had night and day. People went to bed. Good stuff.
Toffee's doing his starving Russian peasant woman impression.
With his little babushka.
Yes.
Awesome. So we're on our last picks now, I believe. Yes. You have one last auteur.
Yes, I have one last auteur. Well, not so much an auteur as a studio this time. I racked my brain. I thought about it, and Supergiant would have been a good example.
That's what I thought you were going to go with.
Yes, but eventually I went with someone that felt like someone who represented the modern face of indie games, who represents the path to greatness, and
should we guess?
Who've experimented in multiple genres.
Ooh, never mind. My guess is gone.
Okay. And who I've gone with is 11-Bit Studios.
Wow. Interesting.
Because they started with This War of Mine, which was a game I'm very fond of, that does a great job of exploring the concept of the cost of war from the perspective of civilians on the ground level. They made Frostpunk after that, a city management sim. I haven't played much of it myself, but people seem to like it. And then, of course, most notably, their most recent game, my personal game of the year from the year it came out, The Alters, which I'm still very, very fond of. And I think that's a great development path for a modern indie developer.
Yeah.
And
I believe it spawned from folks who were, it's a Polish studio who worked on early Witcher games at CD Projekt.
Yes.
And so it makes sense that like right from the get-go, they kind of understood game development.
Interesting connection. Do you know I mentioned how when I was playing Animal Well, I went to Poland.
It was 11-bit, right?
It was to go to 11-bit and see Frostpunk 2 and
it's all connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah. That's a great one. I'm really excited for we talked about last week, but the Alters getting big beefy expansion / post game stuff in a month or so. Excited for that.
Yeah. But they're gonna break up the fucking summer drought.
We need something to. Why don't some of those September games just release some of those September games? They don't have to be done. Just release the first 85% of them. I want them to be polished, but just don't worry about the ending. We'll get to the ending.
Just release games episodically. That always works out.
Oh, that always
worked great for Valve. Worked great for Telltale. What could possibly go wrong?
I mean, they say most people only 20% of players actually finish the game anyway.
What if someone made a game that was incredibly difficult that just ended? It didn't really have an ending. Like, would anyone get to the point and be like?
I mean, you could say that about a lot of From Software games. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The endings, most of the endings, kind of suck, and really, it's about the journey.
I would.
I want more games that just
all the
end
endings
abruptly.
suck.
If you do something wrong, the game just goes the end. Like,
Except
you're
the
dead.
one-
The end.
The one Dark
Reset.
Souls one ending where you got to walk with all those big teeth little dragons looking at you, all those
Yeah.
framps and frumps.
Walk like an
staring at you.
Egyptian ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that an ending they patched in later? Like it wasn't in the original, or am I thinking of something
I
else?
don't know. I thought that was just the ending if you don't kindle the flame, right? Like
Yeah.
if you use the flame, you start
No.
on fire. And if you walk away, you and your homies are all.
No, I think I'm thinking of Dark Souls 2. I think in Scholars of the First Sin, they added the option to not link the flame when that wasn't
Gotcha.
an option presented in the original.
Gotcha.
I didn't know
There
that
you
wasn't
go.
an option in the
I'm
OG.
sure Jack knows.
Yeah, he definitely knows.
Yep. Love that. Jay, what is your final?
My final one. For another modern pick, but I know a game that Yahtzee does enjoy. My final pick is Neon White.
Ooh.
I think Neon White represents a completely different side of indie that is more akin to like a speedrunning game, and I love it. The amount of time that I've spent just trying to optimize my Neon White runs, not just for self-satisfaction, but also to beat my friends at the times. I remember you introduced me to this, Marty, because you were making an episode of The Escapist, and
right.
I was editing your video, and I had to go get a bunch of footage, but within it, Nick had a bunch of times on the leaderboards. And while I was filming, frantically filming to get footage to finish your video, I would not leave the level until I had beaten Nick's time.
Yeah.
And I love it aesthetically. I love the way it's presenting. As much as I don't really like the narrative, I love the way it's presented. I love the mechanical expression. I think it's just a great packaged game that's completely different to the rest of my picks.
Yeah, the story is definitely the weak link in that game. But,
Just, and I agree. I like how they're trying to express the story. It's just the story itself I don't find particularly interesting.
Yeah.
But you can kind of just breeze through it and be like, fuck it, just get me back into the level. And then the aesthetics and the gameplay are so good that...
Yeah, and it just unfolds, like the amount of things you can encounter where, in a similar vein to Animal Well, I guess all of my picks, Animal Well, Terraria, Vampire Survivors, and Neon White, they all have extended mechanical expression that you are not directly taught. You learn it by playing, and you're like, oh my god, I can do this with the rocket launchers, and I can move like this. Well, that's going to cut a bunch of time here. Oh, I want to go back and try and implement that. And I think that's just something in games that I really admire, is that sense of player-driven discovery that isn't directly signified by, tutorials and stuff like that. I miss that kind of old school, let the player figure things out. But none of these games frustrated me in their attempts to doing that, and that's why I really like them.
Hell yeah.
I mean, in terms of fostering speedrun culture, I'd also put Celeste alongside it.
Yeah,
Sure.
100%.
Yeah, we have Celeste
Speedrun.
on the thumbnail. Yeah.
Yes, speedrun culture is quite important to the kiddies.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
Kitties with a D, not kitties with a T. Although cats might also like.
yes.
And
What if we just had the rest of the show be silence? That'd be nice.
Just me petting my dog in silence.
There you go. How many games of the year of yours have we already mentioned? I believe
Neon White was a
Oberdin-
game of the year. Obra Dinn was a game of the year. Neon White, the Alters.
Yeah.
Those
Decent
were
amount
all
of-
games of the year.
Decent amount of games of the year.
Well, it makes sense. I
Yeah.
tend to try to favor indie games in my top picks.
Mhm.
I mean, that happens kind of organically because a lot of
Yeah.
AAA games bore the shit out of me these days.
Yeah. Except for Sonic Frontiers, which we're all fans of. My final one, Preservation. Good old Abe Lincoln. Honestly, my first one in my mind here was going to be Animal Well. But I'm going to pivot just so we have a nice, clean 12 different games. I'm going to go Silk Song. I'm going to go Silk Song in that it is it's maintaining the ethos of a very small team working on it.
Yep.
Obviously, things changed from Hollow Knight 1 to 2 because they had infinite time and money, ostensibly, to work on it. But I think what Silk Song does, and we were talking about this in our Slack earlier, is I think there are some genres that indie games have not yet been able to reach the highs of AAA. And I think we were talking about that specifically in kind of 3D platformers, like 3D character
Yes,
platformers.
because Eric threw out the hot take that A Hat in Time isn't very good.
Yeah, he called
And
it a
we all-
shat in time, actually, which was very
And we were
rude of him.
all white apoplectic, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
but then my hot take was I don't think anyone's made a 3D platformer that's as good as the big AAA 3D platformers.
Agreed. But I asked Eric specifically, okay, then which indie 3D platformer is better than Hat in Time? And he didn't fucking answer. So
Yeah, this is a coward. They call him the coward. He gave it a 7
They
out
do
of
call
10.
him.
Classic Eric.
I mean,
but
there are bits of A Hat in Time where it slows down a bit, but
agreed.
some of the like individual chapters are some of the best shit ever, like the whole film studio chapter.
It's banging.
Yeah, it is a banger, and furthermore, it bangs.
Oh, wow.
10 out of 10.
I'm the one who bangs the bangers.
Yes.
Silk Song, Jesus. However, Silk Song is one of those games as a 2D action Metroidvania, Souls-like, whatever you want to call it. I think it does it as well as any of its AAA, competitors or colleagues. I think it is as good of a Metroidvania as a Super Metroid or a Castlevania. I think its kind of combat flow is as good as anything we've seen in the AAA space.
Yeah.
And obviously it's nominated for Game of the Year, probably made close to $200 million by now. So for me, that feels like ultimately it shouldn't be the dream of we shouldn't make games because we want to make $200 million. But this is kind of an example of like best case scenario is you make a game people love, it's a good game, and you are rewarded filthily for it. Yeah,
I think the job of indie games is to pick up evolutionary tracks that the AAA industry has sort of dropped, like 2D platformer Metroidvanias, like city builders, like base management stuff, and just continue where they left off, I suppose, to evolve that specific genre. I think Silk Song does that pretty well.
Hollow Knight was on my list to begin with, and so was Stardew Valley for the same kind of reasons for that genre. But I removed them and went with some other things like Neon White and Vampire Survivors because I assumed you guys may include them. But I do think they deserve spaces.
I think we leave the obvious picks to the chat.
I only chose Silk Song over Hollow Knight because in my dumb brain, I had to go in chronological order for the 4 of them. And Hollow Knight came out before Outer Wilds, so I needed a game that came out after Outer Wilds. And that was purely
what came out after Outer Wilds? Yeah.
What's come out in the last 7 years? And I was like, Animal Well. And then you chose Animal Well.
Who's the new president? Who's the new president? It's been 4 years.
Did you guys have any before we well, first let's go over our list one more time, and afterwards let's hear if you had any kind of honorable mentions or like close cuts. Obviously, Jay, you mentioned a couple of them, but what was your list, Yahtzee?
My list was Edmund Macmillan, Pixel, Lucas Pope, and 11-Bit Studios. And the rejected, like, honorable mentions, I suppose, would be Toby Fox of Undertale, Eric Barone of Stardew Valley, Jonathan Blow, as we mentioned, and Supergiant, already mentioned as well.
Nice.
I think that's all that springs to mind for me.
Yeah, Jay.
My list was Animal Well, Terraria, Vampire Survivors, and Neon White, all for different but also similar reasons. And the honorables would, be Stardew Valley, into Hollow Knight. I also think Ori and the Blind Forest deserves a mention. I also think Inscription deserves a mention for developers trying to be fucking weird, and I like that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
My 4 were Dear Esther, Braid, Outer Wilds, and Silk Song. On my honorable mentions, probably the highest at the top was going to be Bastion. That could have been in the Braid slot, honestly.
Yeah.
But I love everything Supergiant does. And then I had Minecraft, Stardew, and Undertale. And the only reason I didn't do those is because I either haven't played them or haven't played them enough to like be in love with them.
Also, they're super obvious examples.
They're the very obvious examples. Yeah, like Minecraft, I mean, objectively feels like it needs to be on there along with Stardew.
Well-
But yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if this Mount Rushmore goes mainstream, that's the first thing that's going to have to be up there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, with that, do we want to hear
Yes.
what folks in the chitter chats have said?
Suppies.
Let's hear what you in the community had to say.
Hit us up, blow our goddamn minds.
Starting, of course, with Raven and their weekly word of the week,
Strong.
week 55. So after a year plus of these, let's see if I'm making a difference. Marty, what does lugubrious mean?
Fuck, has it really been a year? That's incredible. Lugubrious, that's like be it like a sad sack kind of, right? Like boo, like Eeyore.
yeah. Sad or mournful, from the Latin lugere, to mourn.
Lex Luger, famous
Yeah.
wrestler. Yeah,
The sad boy, yeah.
the sad
There you
boy.
go.
Yeah.
Something sticks.
I'm never going to
Anyway.
use that. That's one of those
Like shit
words.
on
Like
a wall, yeah.
that word is worth nothing to me. That is a toilet paper word because I know it, but I'm never going to use it. I'm not going to
Well,
write
what
it
if-
in anything.
Shit sticks.
Well, what if someone comes up to you and goes, "Quick, I'm writing a speech and I need a non-conventional synonym for sad."
Bummer,
Tell
bummer
me,
town.
Bummer Town.
No, also one that makes me sound clever.
Womp womp.
I regret to bring you Bummer Town news, people. The school kids have died.
God, that is truly a bummer town.
Uh-huh. Pure Bummer
What
Town.
if the president themselves came to you and said, "I'm writing a speech and only you can help. I need an intelligent sounding word that means sad."
I'd say fuck off Nazi pedo. That's what I'd say.
Mhm.
Well, I'm assuming this will be the next president because obviously none of us are making any connections to the
Okay.
current
I'd
one.
say, do you want
Okay.
to spot on Mount Rushmore video games?
Do you want to? Can you put your face up there so I
What
can
indie games
choose?
have you made? Get out my house.
Yeah. Anyway, Signers there, Jog, your side dollars, says mine's composed of solo indie games, proving you can strike rich all by yourself. Undertale, Balatro, Braid, and my favourite, Spark the Electric Jester. Ooh, that went
Balatro, a
up.
big one we didn't mention.
That
Yeah,
is a big one,
certainly.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
And-
and
Oh,
If we wanna
Slay
talk
the
about-
Spire?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's another one.
yeah.
Spark
Balatro
was the
being
one-
one that. Oh, sorry. Go
I mean,
ahead.
it doesn't surprise me that Signers the Hedgehog likes Spark the Electric Jester because Signers the Hedgehog is a big Sonic fan, owing, as we can tell from the fact that their name is something the Hedgehog, and the something is an anagram of Sonic.
Mhm.
Get the fuck out of here! It's not only that; it's just backwards. I didn't know that until now. Did you know that? Jay?
I didn't know that, but that's because both me and you don't pay as close attention to words as this sweaty nerd.
Words are
right
jazz,
You did-
baby.
Wait, you didn't notice this whole time that
I
Sinos
swear to
is Sonic
Christ, I did
backwards?
not realize Sinus
Yeah,
was
I
Sonic
can barely
backwards until
fucking
this
read,
moment.
mate. I'm not going to
I mean, the
notice
clue was
something
in-
is Sonic.
I mean, they even put the hedgehog on the end to make it really obvious.
Yeah, but you could do anything. Like Eric the Hedgehog, that's a real man.
All right, fine. And also ends with ick, so it works pretty well.
Wallow Knight.
Hjorth gives 20 Danish kroner and says, Rimworld is my favourite indie. Stressful comfort. Yeah, I never got into that.
Yeah.
That's a weird one, as Rimworld.
My friends that are into it are really into it, though. It's kind of
sort
like
it's sort of Dwarf
Dwarf
Fortress
Fortress.
Light, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's another, again, something I haven't dabbled in, but I know Dwarf Fortress is, I guess, another one of those games that is like massively big in terms of like literally it is a large video
Yeah.
game made by
Yes.
a very small team. Isn't it like two brothers or something like that?
Yeah.
Might have made that up.
Something
Whatever.
like that. Yeah. Mirith D, member for 10 months in the Green Gang, says, I can't believe you didn't mention Factorio. Well, if you
Mirith?
like Factorio, Mirith D, I've got good news for you. We're doing our summer game drought vote very soon, possibly as soon as next week. And one of the 6 candidates is Factorio, which will be a recurring candidate from previous years.
It's a really good game.
Incredible. What if
Not the
Danganronpa's
only-
not on the list?
Not, as I was about to say, not the only recurring candidate from previous years, because we have to pay service to certain running gags. But yeah, Factorio's on there if you want to vote for it.
Would you rather review Danganronpa or a Donkey Kong rom-com? Both things sound similar when they come out of my mouth. Danganronpa or a Donkey Kong rom-com?
Rom-com.
Donkey Kong rom. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah,
Donkey
It's
Kong rom-
got
rom-
a
rom-
ring
rom-
to it,
rom-
though.
rom-com.
It's like, well, they did a Sonic murder mystery, so why can't they do a Donkey Kong rom-com?
Oh my god, Donkey Kong going on a date
There you
with
go.
Candy Kong? Could you imagine? Ooh,
Oh
la
my
la.
God. Like
But then
Candy
Funky
Rat
Kong comes in and steals his girl?
Oh my god.
Well,
Follow.
anyway.
Yeah.
Ryan Betts, member for 28 months in the tip jar tier.
That's a long
28
time,
months.
mate.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
And then For Looming gives $5 and says, recently heard Yahtzee likes boats. A fully ramblomatic about a boat could be good bonus content. Possibly a swan boat from the park you can rent.
What's your favorite
as
boat
well-
you've ever been on? Is it the one in
Oh,
Baltimore, or
Christ.
have you been on a boat you've enjoyed more?
I think the favorite boat, my all-time favorite boat is the Brisbane City Cat Ferry. Because that's an actually functional boat that I occasionally had to take as it was the most convenient way to get from somewhere to somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's the best kind of boat, a necessary boat.
I like
Yeah.
I like a ferry boat. I think that's fun. When I was living in Oakland for a couple of years, I lived near the Jack London ferry, and I could take that into downtown San Francisco, and I thought that was delightful. to take
That's
that kind of
lovely.
ride. Yeah.
I remember the one time I was watching an episode of Bluey with my kids, and which is set in Brisbane, of course, as we should all know. And there was an episode set in a park by the Brisbane River, and in the background there was a Brisbane City Cat ferry going past on the river, and I was like,
Oh, that's fun. You're the Leo DiCaprio meme of him.
And your
looking
kids are
forward
get
to
out the
it.
way, Dad. I'm trying to watch the small blue dog.
It's my favorite boat. They've made the big time. They're in the big leagues now, kid.
Oh, speakeasy is a good question. What about fishing? How do you feel about fishing? You like boats. What about fishing? Often associated with boats.
I've never gone fishing. I went whale watching last year during my summer holiday.
That's
Did
fun.
you see any whales?
Yeah, tons of them. I mean, there's
sick.
I was in Monterey. There's like 5 different companies that do whale watching tours down there because the whales pop up so reliably
Yeah.
in that part
That's
of the
fun.
sea. But my kids got cold and bored, and that kind of soured it by the end of it.
Sure.
Children, man.
But it was cool to see the whales.
Yeah.
Ryan Betts gives $5. Says 2027 prediction: Marty will be a contestant on Countdown and submit lugubrious as the winning word. Well, he'd never be able to do that because lugubrious has 10 letters, and the maximum number of letters in a word in Countdown is 9 letters.
That was
Fucking
that was
hell,
100% going to be my first response. My first response was not going to be I don't know what Countdown is. I promise you, I wasn't going to say I don't know what Countdown is. But Jay doesn't know what Countdown is. So can you tell Jay what Countdown is?
Jay, what's Countdown?
Countdown is a British TV show about taking letters and turning them into words. The maximum point is 9, and they also do maths questions as well. And there's got a big famous clock.
It has gone from light-hearted daytime television affair to veritable cultural phenomenon in England.
Does it got celebs on it?
In an yeah, there's a celebrity version. It was
8 out of 10
referenced in an
cats.
episode of. It was referenced in an episode of the IT Crowd.
Hey,
Do you think it has,
does Countdown as
Do you
well.
think it has like an American analog? Is it like Wheel
No,
of Fortune or Jeopardy, or is it like
That's the funny thing. There really isn't. It's
Yeah.
basically a game show where you demonstrate your skills in maths and anagrams. And I don't think
Sure.
American audiences would be quite on board for that.
No, and that whole because we're dumb as goddamn rocks.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Not enough you can read.
Me specifically, dumb as goddamn rocks. It just seems like like in England, they just love those panel shows. There's all that shit going on over there. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how come that hasn't gotten like popular in American created things?
Well, it's not a panel show. It's a game show in the traditional sense. And a lot of British formatted game shows have gone on to become really big in America, like The Weakest Link and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
That was British.
But
Yeah.
but
Wants to Be a Millionaire was British. I thought
they both
Regis made it.
start. No, they both started as British
We
shows.
just stole it.
Regis wouldn't steal anything. Don't speak ill of the dead.
And Countdown has been translated to other countries other than America. I think there's an Australian version, there's a French version. But yeah, I don't think Americans would go for that. And
No.
you get a prize if you win. You get a teapot.
We just create fear factor in Survivor. We just put people in perilous
People in
situations.
mortal
Yeah.
peril.
Anyway, lost the place because I switched over to regular chat rather than like money chat because I wanted to see everyone reacting to Countdown.
I believe we're at Superb Owner.
Yep, a superb owner gives $2 and says, "There's someone at the door."
There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door.
Is that a reference to something that's going over my head?
What is this?
I don't know.
I was just
Jay
making
sang
a
that whole
reference.
song.
I was just making a reference to something that I cannot remember what it's a reference to, but I know it's a reference. Someone in chat will tell me what I was referencing.
Oh, anyway.
Indie game.
Sano's Dead Jog gives $2 and says, "News: RPG Maker shuts down official forums December 31st. Man, that takes you back. Back in the day when I used to make like indie adventure games, a couple of them I
Yeah.
couldn't be bothered like sourcing music for it, so I just nicked a couple of tracks off RPG Maker and used those.
Did you ever use
Right.
RPG Maker to make anything in the past?
Not really. I tried, but I didn't find it as flexible as other game making software. Although there are some RPG Maker success stories. Was Fear and Hunger made in RPG Maker, or was it made
I
in like something
believe
that
so.
was made to look like an RPG Maker game?
I believe it's RPG Maker.
Certainly looks it.
Did this same topic got brought up on Firelink, and Casey and I were talking about forums back in the day. Were you guys forums? I mean, Jay, forums might have been kind of like a already a bygone thing by the time you were.
No, I used forums.
Because I didn't do forums a lot growing up.
I was forum mad. At first,
Yeah.
I like hung out on the Adventure Game Studio forums. Then I hung out on the Home of the Underdogs forums. Then I graduated to the Something Awful forums, which was like the mecca of internet forums at one point.
Yeah.
Where the forums where all forum users eventually gravitated.
Or sunk too.
I still lurk on there sometimes.
It's Something Awful still around?
It's still going.
Incredible.
It's
That's
a comfort
crazy.
zone for a lot of middle-aged people at this point.
I saw there's like a TV Tropes is still going on. They still got forums that post Fully Rebelmatic every week with thoughts on it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I was big into forums. I haven't really posted any longest time. Not since I got really famous from doing Zero Punctuation, because inevitably, every time I posted anywhere about anything, it instantly derailed the chat.
Yeah.
Because, it's a famous person.
Yeah.
And I got
also,
sick of
apparently,
it.
Jay, the thing you were referencing earlier was the
Matt
IT
Berry and
crowd,
IT
Matt
crowd.
Berry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Matt Berry.
There's somebody at the door. Yeah. Great show.
Oh, well, there you go.
Shame about the creator. Rip.
Yeah, big old turf, turns out.
Oh, yeah, I know that
Piece
guy.
of shit.
Love him.
Hjorth gives Danish krona 20 of them and says Mountain Blade original was a wife and husband team.
Is that right? Which one was Mount and which one was Blade? Don't be
Love a
gross.
good one.
Don't be
Husband team.
gross.
You don't see that so much. I think Ken and Roberta Williams would be another example of a wife and husband power couple
Yeah.
in video games, but I think it's only those two.
The
Hooded,
Ramiros, right? Brenda
Hooded-
Ramiro and John Ramiro.
The people who run Hooded Horse are a husband and wife combo.
That's a
The
fun
publishers.
Perhaps I should enlist my wife into setting up an indie studio.
So
Then we could put you on the
claim-
list of husband-wife indie studios.
There you go.
Get on the forums for husband and wife indie
I mean,
studios.
technically, if your indie studio is in your house, you could call it like a husband-wife thing. You guys probably
yeah, all right,
got your house
yeah.
together.
But we have
Yeah.
a dog as well, so it's like husband,
Yeah.
wife, dog.
Husband,
Yeah.
wife, and dog. Yeah, I do all the making games, and she does all the like rearing the children and shit, so that they can make. So that once they're old enough, they can take over the family business and
They could
also
take
make
over
video
your-
games.
Could use the word
Decrepit
raise.
ass when we're all old and ready to die.
PMA Strip Polito, member for 28 months in the Green Gang, says, are Supergiant too new or do they have the cred? Too new?
We've made many
Supergiant?
newer games. Yeah. Supergiant's
They're
only been
OG.
around 15
They're OG.
years. Yeah.
Maybe they're new to you.
Yeah. 15 years, a long
But
time.
I would argue that Supergiant are no longer indie.
I mean, they
I
are,
would
but
disagree.
if it is by the letter of the law, they are still indie. If it is by an indie game is like what my heart says is an indie game, I kind of agree with you, right? Like
Well,
once
me,
that
it's,
much money and
it's
time gets
budget.
involved.
It's budget and team size. It's when both of those things get big enough to the point where they no longer become indie, and they have, after Hades, all the money they want, and they have over 20 employees. So I
Hey.
view that as AA.
Hey, let's not gatekeep. Everyone can be indie in the wonderful.
How come we didn't put
indie
Claire
party.
Obscure on this list?
Tell that to Claire Obscure, man.
All right,
that
not
one
them.
best indie game.
I mean,
there
I
we go.
shouted out.
So-
I shouted out the Altars, which is also AA.
I
But
would,
anyway.
I'd argue that they're not as well. I just think the problem is we don't have a clear enough definition of what AA is, not what indie is.
This is
It's
why
what
I keep.
AA.
This is why I keep saying there needs to be another game award for AA. There needs to be an indie award, a AA
Yeah,
award,
I agree.
and a AAA award.
I
That
agree.
seems fine.
In fact, let's just call it AA and AAA if you want to keep things consistent.
I feel like I'm in a time loop game because it's just every few months we argue about what an indie game is. And
Okay.
but we're making no progress. It's the opposite of a Metroid.
It's the one thing we can't solve. We
It's a
solve every
Metroidvania,
topic we
except
touch on.
every time we have the conversation, I get fucking dumber. So it's the opposite.
And then we put you on an episode of Countdown and you can't spell anymore.
It's a Metroidvania.
Oh, nice.
This podcast is a Metroidvania.
Goddamn right it is.
Dundum.
Yeah. You have your moments, don't you?
Yeah.
Mark Maynard gives €10 and says, okay, trying to get some variety in some different categories. Mouthwashing, horror stroke story.
Fun.
Into the Breach, roguelike. Outer Wilds, exploration puzzle adjacent.
Yep.
Slay the Princess, visual novel. It's funny you
Some good
mentioned Into the
ones.
Breach, because if I went with
FTL, you'd go with,
Jay's, if I went with Jay's categorization of the amount of time we've spent in indie games, FTL would certainly have to go pretty high on mine.
Yeah.
I put
Yeah,
like
we didn't really
1,000
have any
hours into that.
We didn't have a lot of horror on our list.
No. It's
And
funny, 'cause
I
there's
do
an awful
like
lot of
me
indie
some
horror.
Yeah.
It's probably because it's quite fairly flooded as a market. It's sort of like the easy mode for indie games, because horror sort of has instant audience appeal.
Yeah. I mean, horror as a
Yeah.
genre has always been associated with indie, like even in the film industry. I mean, right now, like Obsession at the box office is doing
Because they're
things literally no movie
relatively
has ever done
simple
before.
to get your foot in the
Yeah.
door. But a lot of
'Cause
them aren't
watching-
mechanically doing anything new.
Watching a movie,
so it's hard
watching
to
a movie.
pick one.
When you talk about going to watch a movie, we assume it's like on the strength of the individual movie. But if you talk about going to watch a horror movie, that's a whole different enterprise. Like it doesn't even really matter what the horror movie is. Like, we go to watch a horror movie so we can get scared and our date can cuddle up to us.
Yeah,
Well,
and
we spoke
there's
about it
always going to
in-
be 15 to 30-year-olds who want to go with a group of friends or with a date to a horror movie.
When I was on the Move podcast, Rewind, with you guys, we were talking about Obsession and Backrooms,
Backrooms.
and one of the we were like praising them, and they should get all the praise for everything they've made, being on such small budgets. But like horror movie on low budget outsells its budget by 100 times is a very common thing, because, well, maybe not 100 times, but makes its money back and then some, because it's horror and it's an easy like get in for audience members.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing there are a lot of examples, Blair Witch, Paranormal Activity, even going back to Night of the Living Dead and Halloween and stuff. But at the same time, there's also been examples of horror movies that no one released and no one fucking cared about. So
yeah,
I guess like anything, like any games. Yeah.
Yeah, and the video game equivalents to that sort of thing would probably be stuff like Slender, the 8 pages.
Yeah.
Just instant hit. Jay, is this really the time to be playing Neon White? As the Steam thing just popped up saying that you're playing Neon White.
I'm
right now.
going to find my Neon White times. Be right back.
Okay. Anyway,
Is this really the time? That's coming from Yahtzee, who often plays games during meetings. So
We were
that is-
okay. So
well, that's-
for
I wouldn't do
Yahtzee,
that.
we were recording a Patreon exclusive video, and at the top of the episode, Yahtzee went, "Hey, I'm playing Subnautica 2," and continued to play for the entire recording session.
yeah, well, I still contributed.
You did.
no one would have known Jay opened that without you, though. I would have known that. Good stuff.
Yes. Anyway, Ryan Betts gives $2. Says, anyone say The Great Circle? L-O and furthermore L. It's not that kind of indie game we're talking about, Ryan Betts.
What's the Great Circle? Oh, I get it. Da, da,
Yeah.
da, da.
Took you a
Good goof.
second, didn't it?
It did. I'm dumb.
RIP Out of Ideas gives 100 arses. Says, you can't be in the Mount Rushmore if your character doesn't have more cameos in other games than Shovel Knight.
I guess what indie games with like the characters who've had the largest like blanket over gaming, Shovel Knight would be on there. Maybe Undertale.
Yeah.
It seems like Undertale shit pops up in a lot of places.
Meat Boy, maybe?
Maybe Meat Boy. Yeah. It's been like kart
Meat Boy
racers
had-
and fighters and
Yeah.
3D.
Meat Boy itself had a ton of cameos from other indie games,
Mhm.
like Bit Trip Runner. Who remembers that?
Oh my god, I forgot about Bit Trip. That was a big like little sub series for a while.
P2. Kid Barchetta gives $2 and says, Jay beat my Neon White times. Also, STS led a wave. Slay the Spire? Oh, yes.
Oh,
Slay the
STS,
Spire.
yeah, Slay the Spire. Did you play Slay the
Oh,
Spire?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I played Slay the Spire. I semi-reviewed Slay the Spire 2 not too long ago.
Sorry, I was thinking of Slay the Princess. Never mind.
I've also played that.
You played all the
Sling
slays.
Press. Big ups,
Slay the
Magnus
Limp
Archives.
Zaratha gives $5 and says, "A shat in time, 7 out of 10. I shall cast a curse on Argentina's team this World Cup. Pelt Eric with tomatoes."
Oh no,
Hell yeah.
Eric. Sweet boy.
They call him the coward.
I like how you said 7 out of 10, which is a literal good score. Yeah.
I mean,
That's some
you know
IGN shit, man.
Well, you know
Come
how
on.
people
7
are
means
with
good.
7 out of 10s.
7 means good.
Not these days. You know how people are when Zelda gets a 7 out of 10.
Well, those people can go kick rocks. They don't understand how metrics work.
Octorock, you mean?
Witticism gives $5. Says, "I'm picking solely based on the heads of the characters themselves. Cuphead, Steve from Minecraft, Hollow Knight or Hornet, and the Dead Cells guy." Well, he doesn't have a head.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
who
know.
else would you carve?
The first 3 I was totally on board with. I don't even know what that dude's head looks like. I don't know who
It's just
else's head I would
like
put.
It's like a ball of amorphous snot, like on top of the. How would you even make a statue of that?
You probably put
Make
what's the
that
name of
our
the
rock, you prick.
what's the name of the skeleton from Undertale?
Sans or Pyrus.
Sans. One of those guys.
Yeah,
Sa- I
Sans
can
or
see a
Pyrus.
Sans, yeah.
I can recognize those heads.
Yeah. Fuzzy Freestyle gives $5 Says, "Sabotage has been growing on me. Didn't have the skills to beat Messenger, and I'm playing Sea of Stars on easy mode for babies, but I'm having fun."
Nice. Sea of Stars is great.
I think Sabotage are one there, considering they've released 2 games and they've both won Best Indie Game.
What do you think
know,
their next game will be? Have they
I
said
don't
what
know.
it is? Like, do you think it'll still be an
Project
RPG? Will they do a different
Sparrow,
genre?
or like Jess? What's the Sea of Stars devs next game project called?
Funny thing about Messenger, I played
Project
through
Sparrow.
that a while back, and in my head I hadn't finished it, and I saw it like on like the Switch store or something like that, and I was looking for a game to play, and I thought, hey, maybe I'll get around to finally finishing that. And when I did finish it, I discovered, oh, it turns out I did finish it. I just forgot because the ending was really forgettable.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Fair. Project Sparrow is going to be a flight game. It's going to be like Pilot Wings for the 64.
You are lying.
Huh.
You're lying right to us. You're lying to our face. I would love a fucking game. I would love them to just do a game that's like Pilot Wings 64.
Just do a
I love that.
do a hand gliding game. out of
Incredibly
nowhere.
chill hand gliding
From
game.
the top rope. Pilot Wings 2.
Out of nowhere. Jam on Toast gives $1.99 and says, "KSP started indie and got lots of people into space." Kerbal
Space Program. That's right. Yeah, Kerbal Space
Some
Program.
people seem to like that.
From
Feels like the
every
second one,
aspect of that
people
game.
didn't like the second one,
Crazy.
right? Yeah, it's
Like a-
big. It's
I
a big
think
brain.
people were mad at the second one for some reason, but knowing modern gamers, it's probably because there's one very specific bug and it got review bombed into hell. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It made space woke.
Minduel gives $2 and says, "Marty and Jay were looking for Go Heg Day 8. Duh," which is the hedgehog spelled backwards.
Holy shit. Also didn't get that. Christ.
Well, I'd be surprised if you didn't get it just from me saying it out loud.
Yeah, no, but that did psychic damage to me.
My thing is, I'm
I
just
would've-
not used to. I go through life and I don't assume people are trying to trick me, so I take them at face value. And so if you say gibberish to me, I'm trying to parse the gibberish.
I always think
can't-
people are trying to trick me. I just don't commonly read words backwards.
You know what I kind of like is that the phrase "to take psychic damage" has sort of become a neologism to mean just that something's been generally confusing.
I like
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
It's nice how language evolves, isn't it? It's nice
Yeah,
how
it
like
is.
slang develops.
It's funny how pop culture can put things like the movie The Bucket List, like bringing the
Yeah.
term bucket list into pop culture, even though no one gives a shit about the movie The Bucket
Mhm.
List.
Liminal space, that's one that's
Liminal
been brought in.
spaces, yeah. Sister
Deebs,
kissing.
moving on. Deep Scrub gives $2 and says, $2 to Marty for yet another name for Danganronpa.
Donkey Kong rom-coms.
There you go.
Did he
And
indeed
then
get
Gil-
in there?
And then Geldon Yetic gives $10. Says, Egosoft's X4 Foundations is my indie pick. I was enthralled by its emergent potential, but lately they've been rebalancing to be more static. Perhaps the best indie game is the one we make ourselves. Do you know the X series? They're like hardcore space exploration stroke trading games.
Never
it's
fucking heard of this.
X4. I assumed it was a 4X. Is it a 4X game? I read those numbers differently.
No. But like the first game was X, the next game was X2.
Mm.
I've literally never heard of these.
They're German.
I found them when I was looking for a good space exploration game because I like that sort of thing, like the whole Elite Dangerous thing.
Yeah.
But I found a lot of them, especially X, tends to be very dry and scientific and a bit complex. And I just that's partly what drove me to make Starstruck Vagabond, is I wanted something like on a nice sort of Stardew Valley level, but about space exploration.
So I clicked the developer Egosoft. Obviously, they've been making X pretty much since 2000, but they did make games in the 90s, including one game named Ugh with an exclamation point.
Oh, I remember
for the Amiga. And its synopsis says, you play the game as a caveman who, in order to appeal to his beloved future mate, controls a large Stone Age muscle-powered helicopter, picking up passengers and flying them to their desired locations for money. It's just crazy, Taxi, but you're trying to get your dick wet.
But you're a caveman.
But you're a caveman.
Yeah, and you were literally piloting a caveman helicopter. It was fun.
Pull this up, Eric.
Ugh. UGH exclamation point. Ugh.
Do you remember when games didn't care about being broadly understandable or having broad appeal?
If anything, nowadays, that is the appeal when a game comes out and it's just completely batshit and you're just like, what is
it?
This?
Also says it is a clone of the 1984 Commodore game Space Taxi. You could just do that. You could just be like, I'm making Space Taxi, but I'm putting...
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
that many things you could do with 2D pixel art. I mean, that's what happened to the Atari 2600. Everyone just ripped off Pac-Man and everyone got sick of video games.
We got a speed run like Neon White to the gaming crash, you know?
Covered in sponges, because $2. It says 8 out of 10 cats. This countdown is hilarious. Watch it. So, to give you some context here, Marty, we already explained the show Countdown to you. Mm-hmm. There's another show that's a comedy panel show called 8 out of 10 Cats, which is hosted by Jimmy Carr and has regular team captains who are all comedians. Mm-hmm. That's just them talking bollocks and having funny jokes in a conversation. And they did a hybrid show where the comedians that hosted 8 out of 10 Cats played Countdown, seriously, trying to get the anagrams and do the sums. And it was really, really popular. And now it's in their the millionth season.
Because it's good. It's a combination of two of the Britain's most popular shows, but it's more comedy focused than it is.
I'm trying to figure out why stuff like this is so popular and ubiquitous in Britain and not in the US. What is do we have more sports? I know y'all got soccer, which is huge, but we have football, basketball, baseball, hockey.
We have
is
cricket.
It that people are but are people watching it? I'm trying to figure out.
It's intelligence level and sense of humor. You know, guys.
When I look at American talk shows, what I see there is a load of people dick swinging at each other. You got the host who's telling the jokes at the start and swinging his dick all over the celebrity guests, and the celebrity guests swing their dick straight back, showing off all the stuff they're talking about, and everyone's trying to be the guy with the biggest dick in the room. I don't get that vibe from panel shows. British panel shows are just comedians commenting on current affairs in funny ways, and no one's swinging a dick at each other.
Well, that's those late night shows
reactive comedy.
I mean, the late night shows are less swinging dicks and more just marketing arm of whatever company owns it, because it's the ABC one is owned by Disney and is going to have all the stars of whatever garbage Star Wars or Marvel movie is coming out. So
yeah, it feels
dick
swinging.
Artless.
That's dick swinging. Yeah,
that's dick swinging.
That's not dick swinging. Y'all haven't even seen a dick swing?
It's marketing dick swinging.
If you're trying to sell stuff, it's dick swinging. British panel shows
definitions of swinging donks.
British panel shows are by their very nature irreverent. Especially stuff like Have I Got News for You? They'll talk about the news, they'll talk about the Prime Minister and the Queen, and just take the piss out of them all the way through. And everyone complains about all the people in power, saying, "Oh, the fucking Prince Andrew, fuck that guy."
So is it SNL? Is it the closest thing to SNL?
Not really. Because again, SNL has a lot of dick swinging in it. Because they bring out celebrities, and the celebrity hosts the show, and the celebrity gets to be the one with the big dick for that week.
Yeah.
And that's
It's my turn for the dick swing.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm quite proud of that analogy. I think I've summarized the problem pretty well. American TV's got too much dick swinging for the self-effacing British national identity.
The problem is I don't think we agree on the definition of dick swinging.
Well, that's probably because you're American and you've been immersed in dick swinging your entire life.
USA.
You have to take a step out of it to be able to recognize it. Like if you're inside an egg or something.
It's also just humor. It's the type of humor. British humor is very self-deprecating and sarcastic. And
Well, what it is
there's a
that British
wonderful
people,
video.
What is that? The British
Sorry.
sense of humor is all about bringing down people who were trying to aspire to higher status.
Sure, punching up.
It's like saying you should half of the classic British sitcom is about someone who's of middling status but who aspires or thinks of themselves as high status being brought down to low status. Like Faulty Towers, keeping up appearances, that's all that.
And people being at bottom for being at the complete bottom, and then
Yeah.
I
mean, Dad's Army as well. It's all people aspiring for high status being brought down to low status.
There's a wonderful video on how the British TV show called In-Betweeners, which is about a bunch of teenage kids who think better of themselves in lots of different ways, but are actually just dumb teenagers. It's a very dirty show. They tried to adapt that in America, and the comedy just didn't land anywhere near as it did in England. And it's just because the sensibilities are completely different in terms of humor.
Yeah. See, I've heard the comparison made. The average episode of an American comedy show is that there's a problem, and the problem spiral, and things get worse. But then a resolution is required, and by the end, everything's returned to the status quo. Meanwhile,
well, I mean, that's the base sitcom, which isn't really monoculture.
Meanwhile, an episode of a British sitcom, someone's trying to do something goes wrong, events spiral, things get even worse. The show, something happens that makes everything get destroyed utterly and completely, and then the episode ends, and no lessons are learned.
Yeah, but Americans created Arrested Development, 30 Rock, and Community, so America wins the comedy awards. Congrats, America!
If you like that sort of thing,
Congratulations.
I mean, they're literally they're funniest TV shows of all time. Yes.
Well, they've got nothing on Faulty Towers.
They have everything on Faulty Towers. They'd fly a plane in those Faulty Towers.
Have you even seen Faulty Towers?
I saw one episode of Faulty Towers in college.
Good, wasn't it?
Oh, I mean, yay. It's fine.
Well, that was a bit
Different
of a
strokes, different
tangent.
folks.
That was a
We've still
big
got super
tangent.
chats to read. Blistered Soul gets 199 and says, realizing IDK self-pub indies besides the obvious. I'm not sure what you're on about there, Blistered
Realizing
Soul.
I don't know. Realizing that Blistered Soul was realizing that they don't know self-published indies besides the obvious.
Apart from the obvious.
I think.
Well, anyway. Ryan Betts gives $10, says, for no particular reason at all, I would select the underrated hidden GMTK game jam game, Cthulhu. Completely unrelated. Any advice on propping up an indie game on Steam will be much appreciated. Have you tried being a famous YouTuber? That's usually
helps.
worked for me.
Yeah.
What is... First off, Cthulhu, very good name. I like the name Cthulhu.
A great name.
It is... I don't know what I would do if I needed. Find a good GIF.
It's so hard because there's so much competition fighting for eyeballs these days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't know where to start if I didn't already have an existing profile, frankly.
Yeah. And it seems like the things that blow up a lot of times is just chaos and random and right place at right time, either with the right idea or the right iteration on the right idea or the right person plays it.
If you've got a new idea and you pull it off really, really well, then word of mouth
will spread.
Get you up there. Hopefully, maybe.
If you have a really strong core gameplay loop, a demo can help. Steam Next Fest is going on right now, but even that is like fucking. There's a billion demos now, so that's even harder to rise.
I guess there's nothing to lose from just sending Steam keys to every major media outlet. I mean, speaking for us, I always appreciate when we get a Steam key, and if I see it in the communal Steam account, I'm more willing to give it a look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if it's early as well. If we can get to it before like the embargo and we can actually play it, like that's so useful.
Yeah, everyone wants to have an exclusive, especially if it's a good game.
Yeah.
So start with making a good game. That's your starting point.
But like as a player, there's not much you can do unless you know someone who's a YouTuber and they owe you something. Then you can say, do this, cover this game, please.
So start extorting people?
Blackmail?
Think about that.
There you go. Tell you what, don't worry about it. Just make something that would really appeal to you. And yeah, who knows? Maybe there's a lot of people like you in the world.
There you go.
Maybe you'll create your own niche, or maybe it'll like take the world by storm.
Yeah,
Just make something
like
you
that.
can be passionate about.
I think that's the best piece of advice.
Oh Christ! Did the mic pick that up? My stomach just growled very loudly because it's
No, I didn't hear it.
I don't think so.
luckily we're on our last super chat. Sussy Guru 2000 gives €5 and says my pick is the Invincible. Hashtag recency bias.
Another Polish game. Pull them up.
Ah, Jesus Christ! You can't stop those fucking polls. They're everywhere.
Well, some people did. I thought the Invincible was fun.
Yeah, I like
Also
it.
published
I
by
didn't
11
play
bit.
this one.
I mean, I recently reviewed Aphelion, and my first thought for how to summarize that is it's a poor man's The Invincible. So that
you
should
go.
tell you what you need to know
There you
about The Invincible.
Mm.
They're also, that same developer is doing that Into the Fire game that we talked about last week, where it's kind of the AAA
Yes.
feeling firefighter game, which seems cool.
There you go.
Neat.
Also, it makes sense that a Polish developer made The Invincible because it's based on a short story by Stanislav Lem, famous Eastern European science fiction author.
There you go.
Right, well, that's it for Super Chats. Thanks. Oh, shit, another one just came in just as I was saying that. Murray the Demonic Skull gives $10 says, there's a scene in the British office where Tim is asked how his night was, and his response was, I had a good wank. US humour would never have the romantic lead Jim saying that. Could you imagine that, Marty? I've never seen the US office. Could you imagine Jim responding to the question, how was your night, with the answer, I had a good wank?
Not Jim from The Office, but that's to say, I feel like this comparison is trying to say no American show would do that when It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia exists and is still going on. So like, I do agree for the sitcoms, like the big kind of mainstream on main network sitcoms. Yes, usually very sanitized. The ones that get really popular, the 2.5 Men or fucking Big Bang Theory, all pretty bland. Even The Office, I would say. But if you go ahead.
You know, I've heard like Americans complain that all British TV actors and celebrities look like school teachers.
Mhm.
And my response to that was, yeah, they look like people. They look like normal
People,
human beings. I mean,
Yeah.
I think America has a real problem with not letting anyone in front of a camera unless they're conventionally attractive.
I agree, and that's why when something comes along that is able to buck that, like there was Marty Supreme last year, one of the Academy Award nominated movies, which is like every person in the movie, you're like, Jesus Christ, like where did you find this face?
Widow's Bay is that.
Widow's
I've
Bay
been
is
watching that last
great
night.
at that. Holy
Yeah.
moly,
They're just people.
just people.
RIP Out of Ideas gives 100 asses and says, we know Eric found Hat in Time mid. What about you three? I really liked Hat in Time. I did a review of it. I'm on record.
It's one of my favorite 3D platformers.
I only played the demo, so I have no thoughts.
Oh, we'll play some more of it.
Empty
It's
head.
good.
But that would go against my theory that no indies can make a good 3D platformer. It's not that they can't make a good one; it's just they can't make one as good.
I
as
can't
Mario
play
or
this. It might be
Astrobot.
good.
You can't. It might
can't play
destroy
this.
my entire worldview. Nothing will harm me inside of my own echo chamber.
Yeah.
Covered in Sponges gives $2. It says $2 for lunch. Well, I'm not going to get it at this rate because P.S. Marsh gives $2 and says Seinfeld had the contest episode. Yeah, you keep mentioning shows like Seinfeld and Always Sunny that are the extreme outliers in American culture.
But they are arguably the most. They're like Seinfeld's arguably the most popular sitcom of the
Yeah.
90s.
Yes,
I wonder why.
Yes, they're popular and good because they're extreme outliers in terms of how shows are made.
But 30 Rock, Arrested Development, Community, like these are. I feel like this might be. I'm not trying to offend you. I feel like this just might be a knowledge issue with you don't know American sitcoms and I don't know British sitcoms. Like, admittedly.
That's fair.
Well, we probably know more US sitcoms because that shit was on British TV all the fucking time.
Yeah, but you
We
don't
got
you don't like
Friends.
engage with movies and TV really over the past 15 years,
Well,
right?
Well, not really, but I remember from my childhood that it was always on. Friends, fucking Friends. Hate those motherfuckers. Frasier, smug twat.
You're a big Frasier. You
Seinfeld.
give off Frasier energy.
Yeah,
Okay,
you do.
I mean, I'll take it.
He was the Beast. You could be the Beast in an X-Men.
Well, I've got the body hair for it. Jomo Slomo gives 20 Norwegian kroner and says, I'm not going to hold you from lunch anymore. Then Susiguro 2000 gives €2 and says, don't forget married with children. And that's it. That's all the super chats. Moving on. Well, thank you for listening to the Windbreakers podcast. Hooray. I was Yahtzee Crucial. I was joined by Jay and Marty. If you like my stuff, you'll want to watch this week's Fully Ramblematic, which is the much requested mixtape review. That all the comments been asked me for, and that I did definitely because it was asked for, and not because there's bugger all else coming out at the moment. And
it's slim
yes,
pickings for the next month.
I've also got a semi-ram dropping this week. It's on the subject of James Bond, and specifically James Bond being a smug bellend.
Hell yeah.
Yes, that's our boy.
So you just keep that in the back of your mind. And of course, my usual stream, Yahtzee Tries. Ooh, Steam Next Fest this week. What a wonderful opportunity to try out some of the new demos that are launching as we speak. So you'll see some of that on Wednesday. I think Marty will be joining me. He's missed the last couple of weeks for various reasons, but he's due. He's due to come on.
It's my service. My service shall be required. I will be there, unless there's another tornado, in which case I won't.
All right. Well, that's it for me, I guess. Oh, I guess I'll just shout out, remember to watch this week's episode of Adventure is Nigh that came out on Saturday.
Yes!
It's a good one. It's where Jack, with what can only be described as mischievous glee, puts us all through a traditional D&D style puzzle dungeon with twists.
It was almost painful to watch because it's cut to where it's like, oh, we solved these puzzles pretty quickly. But I'm like in the room, we like argued for like 45 minutes on each one.
Stupid.
Yeah, good stuff.
What else we got?
Jay, what do you got?
I've got working on an episode of Design Delve on Majora's Mask. Just finished my full playthrough on that. That'll be out next Monday though. And other than that, just my usual streams over on Twitch and stuff. I think that's everything. I finished my inventory system on my game. That's fun. Just letting you guys know. And that's me.
Proud of you.
Yeah, you figured out how inventory items work.
Oh, don't be. What? You guys were on the same team against me, and now you're being a little worry word over there.
Well, that's I think the sign of a good trio is if you can see how they separate into the twos and ones. You can see how any two given members can gang up on the third.
Okay, go. That's perfect, actually. We got Hot Monday Energy coming up later this evening at the normal time. They're playing Two Fight, Two Tight Spaces. That is a really tortured name. Yeah. That is the sequel to Fights in Tight Spaces. Earlier today, a new episode of Game Arcadia from Jenna and Jesse Schwab went up. A great look at The Tester, the PlayStation official game show that came out for, it was a reality show. Will you win a job as an underpaid minimum wage game tester at Sony?
Wow.
And it was a nightmare.
That was a fucking scam, wasn't it?
Joe,
imagine having a job where you can play video games all the time.
Madness.
They really were like preying on ignorance there, weren't they?
You will be overworked and underpaid. We got a new backdrop tomorrow. We'll be back for the rewind tomorrow, talking about Masters of the Universe and Disclosure Day. Spoilers: Masters of the Universe fucking whips ass. Good job, He-Man. I'm proud of you.
Hope it performs well, though. We'll see.
It is not performing well whatsoever.
I have a question about the He-Man movie.
Yes.
Because I have a funny feeling I know the answer to this.
Okay.
From what I've seen of the He-Man movie, does the He-Man movie at any point reference the cover of What's Going On by Three Non-Blondes that was done with He-Man characters in the early days of YouTube memes?
It has literally the song. The song is in the movie. Not the cover. The Four Non-Blondes song is in the movie.
I fucking knew it.
But also, it's in the trailer for Street Fighter.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
And it was in an early trailer for He-Man. It's weird
a fucking psyop, dude. It's a Three Non-Blonde psyop.
And the normal streams and everything the rest of the week. And stay tuned for we should have a video probably next week on our favorite games of the Steam Next Fest, which is currently going on right now. So go play some demos.
Right, 2 last super chats. So I suppose we should fulfill our obligations. Rip Out of Ideas gives 100 asses and says, what do you plan on eating? Your fucking mum. And then Jomo Slomo gives 20 Norwegian kroner and says, Sussy will, however. Oops, I lied. Right.
Ah!
And with that,
Quick.
and with those obligations completed, I bid you adieu. See you on Wednesday. Bye.
In a bit, team. Bye bye.